Lindholm. Megan, good to see you.
Hi, great to see you too.
So Megan is making a double play with her growing business, which also benefits the New Albany Food Pantry. Megan has a apparel printing and design company, and she comes to us with more than 2 decades of design experience. I know Justice was one of the brands you were at for quite a while. Remind me, what is the apparel suited for, Justice?
Say that the apparel suited for the
Yeah, is that young girls, boys?
Yes. So Justice is for young girls. I think 9 to 13. When I was there, is their age group. So that is where our target market was when I was working for them.
So you managed a portion of that business as a planner buyer?
Yes, I was a merchandise planner for a long time. We introduced a boys brand kind of briefly for a couple years, and I sort of headed that all up with our buyer and our designer, and that was really fun and exciting, especially because at the time I had 2 young boys, and it was totally geared towards their age group. So that was super fun, and that really gave me. It was so small, such a small thing, that it gave me such a broad understanding of how the entire business worked, and it was an awesome experience.
What's the emotional difference between having your name on the door versus being an employee of somebody else's organization?
That is a huge question, because I will tell you the feeling I have when I have a customer and it's my name on the door. The thought of letting them down is just impossible I can't stand it. I hate that feeling. I want to do whatever I can. And I'll tell you, when you're working for Justice, you're just like, well, I don't know. I can't do anything about it. It's so huge, and the customer is so removed from you that when you become so close to the customer and you understand their needs so much, you really just, it's a whole different level of caring, and it's a whole different level of understanding how your employees feel, because you want them to have that same feeling that you have as a business owner.
Yeah.
And how do you get them to feel like that?
Yeah, there's a much greater emotional connection when you can interface with the customer. They might even be within kind of short proximity.
Yeah.
They're going to come in.
Especially like when since I kind of started this business just with my friends, a lot of the times at least at first, when I first started, I was working with my friends all the time. And of course, you definitely don't want to let down your friends. But it doesn't really change. Even if you don't know that person, you just really want to, when you have your name on the door, you want to make it happen for them.
Yeah, but it's also an extension of your ego. I know when I owned a company in New York City, I want to look good. I don't want to look bad. I want the brand to be perceived in a certain way. I want my customers to be treated in a certain way. I was very, very mindful about reviews. People are spreading the gospel about my business. And so there's a lot of balls you have to juggle. Tell me first, because, I know your business, but maybe the folks out that don't know, 643 Spirit, how is it inspired, and what do you do?
So we are, I would say, first and foremost, we are an apparel printing company, an apparel design company, but our merchandise is really, in our opinion, and I think that most people that have tried it would agree, it's really next level. It is stuff that you want to wear. It has your logo on it. It has your business logo on it. It has your school logo on it. You can see there's a lot of New Albany stuff behind me. Since we're based in New Albany, we hold a lot of that in our store. We do other stuff, but that's kind of where we're at. But we just we want to be an apparel company. It's stuff that you want to wear. It feels good. It's soft. It's comfortable. It's cute. It's different. It's not just a boxy t-shirt or sweatshirt. And so that's really our inspiration. We started, just a couple of my friends and I were talking, and I was at that time still working at Justice, and we're sitting at ball games and stuff. And gosh, wouldn't it be nice if we could get our hands on something like this to wear for a game? And who do we call? Who do we ask? How can we do it? And I thought, well, maybe I'll just give it a shot. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. And it went great. And it turns out that people all over are absolutely looking for this kind of stuff to wear and show their logo.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting my shirt, which I specifically ordered because part of your apparel line goes, the proceeds, $5 of which goes towards the New Albany Food Pantry, right?
Yes, that is correct. So you can see this shirt right behind me. This is the New Albany Strong shirt, and we have been selling those like crazy. And we are doing $5 to $6 per shirt, depending on where you buy it. We have two different places, but around $5 to $6 per shirt go into the New Albany Food Pantry. And so far, we've given them about $1,000, and that is huge for them because they can use that. $1,000 worth of food for us is a lot, but for them, they said that they can buy $10 worth of food for every $1 you donate. So,
Sure.
you feel small because you're like, well, it's only $1,000 or whatever. How's that going to do? But when you think about $10,000 worth of food, it's kind of exciting that you can do that just by selling T-shirts. So it's been great, and only just in the last month, and the community has all just they just jump in and do it. They want to help, so it's been awesome.
Yeah, well, I'm grateful for what you do. Having been a previous business owner, it's difficult to part with cash, especially when you're a small business. Often you don't post a positive cash flow for the first year, even. And to take those proceeds, be it $500 or $1,000, that's significant when you have a small business. And the really great thing about that, which I've discovered, is that when you have a cause, it pulls you to
Yeah.
take greater action, to push yourself more, to get uncomfortable, to just do that much more to have your business grow because there is a cause behind you. And what I do recommend is if you can pull that cause closer to you, somehow. One of the ways I intend on doing it, Megan, is I want to interview someone from there so that I can kind of take what you're doing, donating to these folks, and keep them real close so that the inspiration stays alive. You have to nurture inspiration.
Right. I think that's absolutely true. And it does become, it really does drive you because you feel like during these kind of times when everybody is so worried about all different kinds of things, and you start thinking, well, all I do is print T-shirts. You start and sell T-shirts, and you can start to feel like that's just a very insignificant thing to do. But when you realize that T-shirts, can bring a community together in this way, not only through the money that we can donate via everybody chipping in and purchasing one, but then the whole community has this T-shirt on, and it brings us all together. And I think that's really important. And I think it's been kind of fun for the community. It's something different to bring us together, and it's worked.
Yeah, I mean, let's be real. If the product didn't fit nicely, it wasn't
Yeah.
comfortable, it wasn't flattering, it would be kind of a pain in the ass to buy that stuff.
Right. And I
Not-
think people still would, just to be, because everybody in this community is awesome. I think they'd still buy it, but I'm hoping, and I'm pretty sure that when they get it, they love it because it's also awesome. So,
well, I'm sure they do, but the point I was getting to is that it's a double value.
yeah,
They're getting a really great product, and they're doing something good for the community, and you are the conduit
they're getting
for
a
that.
double play, right?
Good. Double play. So, since I kind of crafted that introduction line
it.
about
Yeah.
your business, how does double play in to your business title? Most people don't know what 643 is.
That is correct. Most people do not. So 643 stands for it's the way that you score a double play in baseball. And I was really pleased with myself when I figured this out because I did not grow up a sports person, but both of my boys, who are 13 and 14, have played baseball since they were 7 or 8 years old. And I got to be one of those kind of women that understands baseball, and now I know how to score it. And anyway, the 643 is when you make a double play, and it's when the ball is hit to the shortstop, you throw it to the second baseman to get an out, and then you throw it to the first baseman to get another out. And it's very exciting. Everybody cheers, and it's one of the most exciting plays in baseball. That's what we always say. And that's kind of what we want to bring to the logo apparel industry.
Yeah, yeah. And I had said this to you before, that your enthusiasm, your zeal for life and your business kind of make me think like you are one of the cheerleaders of New Albany. And it's kind of cool because you embody the very product that you're selling. When I think New Albany Strong, I think of you.
Well, that's awesome. I can't think of a better compliment. And really, we do. We want to be the the provider for New Albany. We want to be the people that everybody comes to when they need something, because they want to show their spirit, because they want to be wearing New Albany across their chest, because they're proud. That's who we want to service. And I feel like we have been, and I think that we're growing that name.
Great. So let's talk brass tacks. How do we drive sales? What do you need right now as a small business? How do people find you? Give us the whole gamut. How do we drive foot traffic and sales today?
Well, we are lucky because we can do a lot of online sales. And so we are trying to get those stores open and be able to ship everything out the door. We are shipping almost every single order, so nobody has to pick up or do anything. And so we have that. We can do fundraisers for your business. If you have a restaurant and you're not able to get the traffic in there, if you want to do a t-shirt for your restaurant, we will do that. We will set that all up for free. There's no investment or anything. And all you do is just share it to your customers. And then we send out the t-shirts, we print them up, and then we send you a check for it. So that has been a great way, I think, for people to get a little extra income flowing during these times when they can't sell their typical products. That's something we can do. People are really wanting to support their groups. So we're doing signs in the yard. We're doing t-shirts that say New Albany seniors. We're doing signs for 8th graders who are graduating, or, whatever, 5th graders that are graduating. Just things that bring people together. That's who we are. And it's been great because we are a word of mouth business 100%. And it's kind of, it gets around, word travels. So we've been doing all kinds of different things that we probably were not doing last year at this time, but it's bringing the communities together in a different way.
So where do I find you online?
We are at 643spirit.com, and all of our online stores are on there. You can find the New Albany Strong Tees on there. We also have some masks. We have New Albany masks and different stuff like that. So people are kind of, let's see if I have one laying here. Here's our New Albany masks. We have these online and some all different kinds of stuff. So you can find that at our website.
Okay, 643spirit.com. And can they pay through that portal directly?
Yes. Yep. Everything is online.
Okay, great. So for all our viewers out there, support New Albany, support the New Albany Food Pantry. Really great double play. Check out 643spirit.com. Go ahead and make a purchase. I made one. I'm super psyched to feature it. So let's go backwards in time. Tell me about Dad. He was in the business of apparel. What did he do?
Yes. So my dad worked for kind of people that we purchase from. He was not a screen printer, but he was on the back end of this. The company that he worked for, it was called Holloway Sportswear, and they introduced the first varsity jacket. So all the varsity jackets. So back in the 60s, when he was kind of, when that was his thing, that was the spirit wear that people wanted. People weren't wearing tons of t-shirts, but the kids were wearing varsity jackets. So that was his probably most important part of his business. But he was in this business the whole time I was growing up. So I understood how it worked. I saw, he was always bringing me home different stuff, different kind of apparel to show me what was available. And I have to tell you, I was always like, gee, thanks, Dad. Didn't really think about it a lot until I realized how cool it was, what he was doing, and how it can work to bring communities together.
Yeah, that's true. Had you received the blessing of having him know about your business and kind of walk in the door, or had he moved on prior?
Just barely. I had about a month when I told him, I said, Dad, I think I'm going to give this a shot. And he's like, well, do you know how to do any of that? And I was like, I do not.
Nope.
He was I had no idea. And he's like, oh, you'll do fine. And we didn't talk about it a lot, but I did let him know that it was happening. And so that does kind of make me just feel happy that he at least had an inkling that it was going to happen. So
yeah, that is nice. Before I started, or rather acquired, my last business in New York City, to have a blessing from a parent, that's a good feeling. That is a good feeling.
It's weirdly important no matter how old you get. I don't know why that we have that feeling, but we just want to make sure that they think that, if he would have told me it was a terrible idea, I might have been like, oh, okay. I might have listened. I don't know. But I feel like as we get older, we maybe value their opinions and their thoughts about it even more. So
yeah, that's right. You make a good point in that as you get older, you get wiser and you start listening to your parents. I think that this period of time is interesting and that parents are spending a lot of time with their kids. And depending on what age they are, kids on one side view this as the biggest pain in the ass. Their parents are, all over them. And probably on the other side, at a specific age, I'm guessing like 25 and over. What do you think that
Right.
age is where you're like, there's like that distinction between like appreciate your parents versus like pain in the ass? What age
Yeah,
do you think it is?
that's a tough one. I'm pretty sure my kids are both definitely in the pain in the ass stage. But I would say I think it's after college and maybe when you start paying your own bills. that that
Yeah,
was a big one. Like the
yeah,
first time you make a mortgage payment and the first time you have to buy your own groceries, you're like, wow, okay, that this isn't not that fun. And you start to realize that the reason that they did things was to protect you and to take care of you, and not just because you know not just because they didn't want to make you happy. So I think that once you start paying your own bills, you really get an appreciation for how much they sacrificed to make sure that you
sure.
were happy.
Sure. There's a lot of people out there that are not like you and I, and that their parents turned kind of, they did not give them the support financially or emotionally to start their own business or to acquire a business. I mean, talk about an uphill battle. It's hard enough to get the orders, to service the client, to do collections, to do your branding and marketing. And then you have your naysayer from your own family.
I, I can't even imagine. Yes, that would be awful. So I hope that any parents that are listening, of no matter how old your kids are, and I think that's for any endeavor that you want to take, even when you are 14 or 15, to be supportive of what they're thinking. And even if maybe it's a dumb idea, they got to figure that out for themselves. So
Yeah, they do. And I think part of the challenge there now is that I'm a parent and I can understand it better, is that as a parent, I don't want my child to experience pain, displeasure, discomfort. And
yeah.
so as a result, I may haphazardly steer them in a direction that's not their truth, that's my truth.
Right. And
Um,
I think that gets easier as they, like, when they're really little like that, when your kids are so small, I think that it is easy to steer them. I have realized as my kids got older that the less I steer them, the happier everybody is, and they really take off on their own. And I have 100% realized that. And you start to realize like what they want to do is kind of cool, and maybe you should have just backed off in the first place. And it took me a long time to figure that out. I got to tell you, like maybe like in the last 3 months, but I think I see a huge just an improvement in their happiness. And I think it's a really good parenting lesson that it takes a long time to learn.
Yeah, yeah. I have, fortunately, I have people in my circle that deal with parenting, like psychology, and like give people professional guidance in the realm
Hmm.
of parenting. And I'm always curious. I'm like, am I messing these kids up by doing
You
XYZ?
are for sure messing them up. I mean, that's a given. That is, you cannot avoid that. They are going to be in therapy and they are going to complain about you. But I mean, it's you don't have a choice. Like you just have to do the best that you can. We have no choice but to mess them up and also try not to mess them up. And if we do mess it up, go back and fix it a little bit and just
Mhm.
really do the best we can. And I think once they start paying those bills, they do start to realize that things that they thought were horrifying that we did to them as children was really just us trying to do the best we could.
Yeah, yeah. What do you think your boys, two boys, 13 and 14?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. What do you think they're learning as you begin to model your behavior, what you say as a business owner?
I wonder about that a lot because I kind of go back and forth with, should I just be a stay-at-home mom? Should I not be working so hard? Because they see me working a lot. And, any business owner is not working 40 hours a week. You're working just around the clock whenever you get a minute. And I do worry about that sometimes, but I feel like when I look at them, I see that they are proud of me, and I see that they are driven to kind of realize they can start something from scratch. They can start something from nothing, do whatever they want. And I think that that is better. I think it's good for them. So trust me, I don't know for sure, but I think
Yeah.
they like it, and I think it's good for them. And I like the idea of them seeing just how much work it takes. That there's
Mhm.
nothing in life that and this is such a joy to me to do this business and to run this business. I really love it. I love my kids. I love this business. And I think it's really fun for them to see somebody that loves their job, because not everybody gets to love their job. So in the end, I think it's great. And it's good for them to see a good work ethic and to get one of their own going as soon as possible.
Yeah, that's right. I love the opportunity to help people during vulnerable periods of time where people really rely on me in such a way that's like, it's very serious. My relationships with my clients they're not surface. These are folks that are spending the most amount of money they probably ever have, and they need somebody who they trust implicitly. And that responsibility I love. It's kind of like I'm a priest in the commerce world or a rabbi in the commerce world. I have to be so stock full of integrity and honesty. What do you love about your job?
I think it's really fun. First of all, I love being around. I mean, I don't feel like a priest or rabbi to any of my clients. I think that what you're saying, I totally get it, because when we have bought our houses in the past, you start depending on your realtor. It's just like every move you make is like, what are they saying? What are they saying? Are they going to tell us? Or, it becomes so important. It does. It becomes like the number one thing in your life. And I think that I really appreciate that you value that responsibility that your clients place on you and their expectations. For me, I think it's really fun. I love hearing what my clients want. I love getting in new apparel and checking it out. I love working with my best friends every day. I love being busy and just helping people solve problems. I think that I feel like a lot of people say that when they talk about their business, but so many people come to me and they're like, we have tried to do this. We've never been happy. We don't even know if it's possible. And I can say, yes, absolutely, it's possible. And just trying to make their life easier. And then when they're done with the whole process, they're like, thanks for not making that a big deal. That really was easy. And that makes me feel really good. And it's a challenge on my end, but it's really fun and it's very rewarding.
Yeah. What's a win that's really something you remember that's like, I really hooked this person up. I did a great job and they gave me a big thank you.
I have had several of those in my career, and they don't always go great. Like sometimes, and if they don't, I know it and I do feel bad, but I will say for the most part, I really do try to do everything I can to make people super happy with their project. Just today, I had some of the elementary schools were looking. I don't know if this is a secret or not. So if you're a teacher, don't listen. But the elementary schools bought T-shirts for all the teachers for a teacher appreciation gift, and they didn't have a lot of money to spend. It's the PTO, but they wanted to go out and do this awesome thing for the teachers and make them feel special because of what they're going through right now. And we went back and forth, and I was kind of able to give them a little bit more than what they thought they were going to get. Like they got a really nice soft T-shirt. They got a little bit better print than what they thought they were going to get. And they were just super excited. I didn't talk them through every single step of the way what I was going to do, but just to give them a little bit extra, and they were so happy with it. And and to get that email from them, like, hey, these are amazing. This looks great. Thank you for doing this for us, was awesome.
Yeah, it renews your passion, your resilience.
Absolutely. That is so right.
I remember I had a client in my previous business in pet care who really kind of sapped me of my joy. I'm sure you've been there. We all have. And in fact, it's a necessary experience to encounter a really tough account or client. It's actually necessary. It builds callousness and resiliency. So whenever I have a really great client in real estate, it is a wonderful renewal that like, this is why I do this.
Yes, it feels very good. And I know I have that quote that your most unhappy client is your greatest source of learning. And I always try to remember that, because if they're not happy, and you get it, you've been an unhappy client before, you've made a purchase before that wasn't what you wanted. And I never want to be that person that gives someone what they don't want to do, but it's a great way. It's going to happen from time to time, and learn from it and just do better the next time so that you can have those happy clients and be renewed, just like you said.
Yeah, my opportunity, I think, is in that as an entrepreneur and business owner in real estate, focus heavily, perhaps weight too heavily on my misses or my shortfallings, and they disempower me. And so my
Oh,
opportunity,
that's never happened to me. I'm sorry.
no,
I have no
no,
idea what you're talking about.
yeah, never. It's funny because we have another entrepreneur, Aaron Hutchison, who just chimed in. He has two businesses, a publishing company and mattress company. He says, Megan, I love those ew COVID shirts. They're hilarious.
Awesome. They are hilarious. That
Yeah.
is one of my favorite shirts. Ew,
Um,
COVID. They are really funny.
Aaron, we encourage you to chime in, Aaron and other entrepreneurs, about their experiences, and how what tough clients or tough challenges have done for them. Have they made, have you grown from it? Have you become more resilient? So we encourage anyone to chime in, but yeah, it's an important part of the learning process. And I think entrepreneurs in particular are often our toughest critics.
I think that is true. I think that is true. It can be really hard. You can really let it get to you you if you don't just focus on moving forward and saying, okay, that stunk. That was not my favorite thing that happened. I did the very best I could. And like you and I have talked about, be honest with why it happened that way. Do whatever you can to make the client feel somewhat, more satisfied with the transaction, and then just move on, do the next one better.
Yeah, it's a good attitude, and it's very, very simple, but it's not easy.
That is correct. It's hard every day, but
Yeah,
it is. There's really no, and every single entrepreneur is dealing with that. Every single business owner is dealing with the same thing. I think that at the end of the day, all of us just want to make our clients and our customers really happy. We want to provide the best possible service we can. We want to provide awesome stuff for them, and we want them to walk away saying that was a great transaction. I want to go back there and do that again.
sure.
And so, and you just do your best.
Yeah. Well, just in summary, from having the chance to interact with you a couple of times, you have a great product. You
Thank
have a
you.
great message about community, and you really are someone that is a real pleasure to be around. Of course, we've digitally been around one another, but you're a great contributor to this community, and I really, really hope that you are successful with this business far beyond you ever dreamed.
Well, thank you. That is a very nice thing to say. And I feel exactly the same about you. You're a pleasure to be around and really easy to talk to. And I've really had a nice time with these interviews and getting to know you. And I hope that I am successful with this business beyond my wildest dreams too. And I really
Good.
appreciate this opportunity. I think it's great what you're doing for the community. I think it's awesome for us to all get a chance to see all these small businesses that are out there trying to make it happen. So it's really awesome.
Good, good. Well, I appreciate the feedback as well. Everyone, go to 643spirit.com. Check out the assortment of apparel. They're really great fitting, soft, flattering clothing. They don't look like promotional merchandise that's cut like a smock, which I know anyone that's worked at a company has received a piece of merchandise that's like that. This is not that. You got to check it out. Buy something. I have, and I can't wait to feature it soon. Megan, you're the best. I can't wait to hear from you. Let's stay in touch. And I look forward to hearing about how this interview gets you some traction in your business.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Mark. It was really fun. Talk to
All
you
right.
soon.